Hi, good morning, and welcome to the second to last day of 2025. Oh my goodness. It went by so quick. I swear it just seems like a month ago was when our cat passed away, and it was really 11 months ago. It was in January. So, wow. You know? Just wow. And a lot of stuff's happened, and oh, I got another chapter done in my book. So I am now working on chapter 70, and please do not let the amount of chapters stop you from reading my books because some of the chapters are very, very short. Some of them are long, like the one that I just got done with. Um, Took me 3 days to do it instead of four. I mean, 4 days and 4 days to do it instead of three is what I meant. Sorry. Um, because I because the day before yesterday, I think it was. It was the day before yesterday. Um, I just didn't. First of all, I didn't feel like doing it, but I was trying. But I ended up whatever. Um, anyway, I ended up taking all of the one videos and putting them together. So then it ended up that that took 2 or 3 days to set up actually because there was just so many videos. But the good news is that it's going to be um, a lot less videos in my watch later list now that I've done that because I've only got like a handful of those videos left. Um, I call it the Don't Stop Meowing family because when I started watching them, it was Don't Stop Meowing. And, um, but it's not just them, it's their family too. So, there's Kareem, Fifi, Taj, and Chase, Millie, and Princess in the one family, and then there's Sammy, Jalila, and Idris in the other family, and then there's the mom and dad of Fifi and Sammy, if I'm understanding that correctly. Um, in the other part, and their daughter Linda is there all the time. It seems like I don't know if she lives with them or if she got her own apartment too. I have no idea. I am so confused on that one. But anyway, and then they got some other kids, and yeah. Anyway, it's a big old family. Um, so I watch them, but I also watch another family. Um, their channel is the Chronicles of Todd, and they just lost their, I think he said 7-year-old cat to cancer. And so I'm expecting that they're not going to post, like they were posting a lot before, but I think they'll probably, not post as much because they're grieving over the lost baby. But I may be wrong because they just posted a video yesterday, I think it was. Anyway, I was surprised to see it because that was just a few days ago. Um, well, they made the decision to put her to sleep because they didn't want her suffering. Um, there was going to be like nothing they could do about it. So, anyway, and then I watch, I think it's called Flounder the Cat. I know it's Flounder something. Um, she is a bossy little kitty cat. She doesn't look like she's little. She looks like she's, um, you know, uh, she's not a Maine Coon, but she looks like she's got tall legs and like she's maybe bigger than my cats, but she's definitely not fat or healthy. I mean, she's definitely not fat and is healthy. um, they go out on walks all the time too. But anyway, she's kind of a bossy little cat. And then there's Evie and Yoshi. Um, they they can dance for Treatos. And Yoshi follows his mommy everywhere she goes. Anyway, they're cute. But I got a lot of other stuff too. Not just cat videos. Um, what else do I watch? Oh, I watched some Minecraft videos. And of course, I watched Pop's Disney Adventures. I'm willing to advertise him because he goes to Disneyland like every day. And, if you want to get the feeling of actually being in Disneyland, he goes and shows you the stuff you could buy. He goes and goes on the rides, and he's not telling you it's going to take 5,000 hours to be in this line. I made up a number. There is never a day when you're going to be in line for 5,000 hours for real. I mean, maybe when a new ride comes out, you might be in line for 2 or 3 hours, but you will never be in there for 5,000 hours. In fact, when we went to Disneyland, the last time I was there, August 2025, the week containing the 14th, I know that because of my video. It's got it. It's actually got the date at the like the upper right hand or left hand corner. I don't know. I suddenly want to say left, but I think I was right. I don't know. But anyway, it says it on there for a brief moment, and then it doesn't because I recorded it on my Sony Handycam. That was a thing called a camcorder before cell phones really had a. Actually, that might have been before cell phones had um, video camera features in them. There wasn't you're on your cell phone all day because it's got games and all that stuff. Um, so, yeah, I always have my character Ashley say that she can handle herself, um, in a crisis, like if there's a bad guy on ship, she could punch him out kind of thing. But then I never, I like, I never actually show that in the book until this one scene. The one that was in chapter 69 on like the last 2 or 3 pages. Ashley is upset, so she goes and changes her clothes so she can like dress to impress Sean, and so she goes and puts on this outfit that she knows her dad would not let her wear. But that part didn't get mentioned, but anyway, she goes and puts on an outfit that her dad would not let her wear, but she she's got it on because she's wearing black short shorts. That's allowed during the summer, but not during the school year. And she's wearing her black bikini as a, she's wearing that to hold herself in. And then she's got, what the heck happened there? Anyway, then she's got this long sleeve see-through shirt over that. So, and new riding boots on her, new black riding boots on her, as her shoes. So, anyway, she decides that she's going to go to the stable, which is, I think of it as the back of the mansion, but it's really kind of the left side. I mean, because if you look at it from the front door, then it is the back of the mansion. But if you look at it from like the street side, you know, the mansion goes left or right, and it would be the far left. But anyway, it's all in how you look at it. And I still cannot believe that this is the second to last day of 2025. We're going to have to start writing 2026 or typing 2026. So that's going to get hard. That's going to be hard to get used to. Because I've been writing 2025 this whole time. I'm going to have to write 20. I mean, I've been writing the date in every single one of my videos. And unless disaster happens again, where, like we have to go and be at a family member's side, I plan on doing this every morning of 2026. But I don't know if that's going to actually happen or not. I'm guessing it will, though. I have no idea. So last night, I was like totally awake. Actually, okay, last night, actually, I gotta start that story. Oh, wait a minute. I was still telling you about Ashley. Anyway, so she decides to go out the front door and go around the building that way. She's gonna go, she's gonna go out the front door to the right, past the garage, and she's gonna, walk around the house on the outside, of course, but she's gonna walk around the house and get to the stable that way. The stable is pretty much right outside the back door. On the, we'll call it the garage side of the mansion. Because there's like the garage side and the kitchen side. Oh. I said I've never been kissed playing, and she's sitting with Mr. Coulson, and they seem to be liking each other like that, but that's a teacher, so her I quote friends are like, ew, she's hanging out with a teacher, ew. I used to hang out with the yard duty, and there was a big problem with that because of the fact that I didn't have very many friends in school. So, like, they thought I was, I don't know, socially challenged or low self-esteem or something like that. And it's like, no. Who's at home? Me and my mom. Hello. Make the connection here. It wasn't that I have low self-esteem. It's just that I don't make friends easy, and ripping me out of the school that I had been going to just to move across town was not helping, because I had friends at the first school. I didn't have any friends at the second school. I mean, we had kids that lived down the street from us, but that was about it. So I just didn't make friends easy. Um, yeah, so I had a friend named David, if you can call him a friend, because one time he literally yelled in my ear. And that was in 4th grade, and I'm like, Mr. Self, he yelled in my ear. Yeah. Mr. Self was a cool teacher. And that year we went through the entire um, Laura Ingalls Wilder series. That starts out with Little House in the Big Woods. Um, yeah, the Little House series. I think that's what they usually call it. Anyway, we went through like that whole entire thing that year. On Fridays, he'd read part of it to us, and we would we were supposed to draw a picture of our favorite scene. Well, problem is that I am not an artist. I'm just not. If I would have had the ability to have an Xbox, there, I might have been able to come up with something here in Minecraft, but I'm just not an artist. I always wanted to be, but I know I'm not very good at it, so. I can actually draw a good, um, building. I can draw a really good building. Well, maybe not really good, but, I can draw buildings. I took, I don't know if we learned that in regular school or if I learned that in the, art class for night school, but I learned how to, like drawing the you're drawing the house, and it looks, square, rectangle, whatever, but then you go and uh, draw some lines out so it actually looks like it's a 3D building, you know. Um, it's not just the front part of the building. I learned how to do that, and I learned how to do a few, a few other things, but, art's just not my thing. Writing books, that's my thing. So, I do have 6 books currently on YouTube. I am just determined that everything's YouTube or Amazon today. On Amazon. I have them on Amazon. And maybe I should have had that little drink of Coca-Cola this morning. But I'm trying. We're supposed to be going to Costco tomorrow. Around 5. So we can get hot dogs. We'll probably have to have something to go with it, like, mac cheese. But, Anyway, we'll probably have to have something to go with it, like mac cheese, but other than that, it comes with a soda. Or, well, it doesn't have to be a soda. It could be water. It could be, I think there's an option of, oh, well, okay, yeah, there's an option of raspberry tea that is, um, fuse. I don't like the fuse. I like, um, brisk. And they had good raspberry tea at Costco, and then all of a sudden they didn't. And then they had good Sprite like product, uh, Sprite like drink, and then they didn't. They got something, Starlight or something like that, and nobody drink. Well, I'm not gonna say nobody drinks it, but at first nobody drank it. It's not very good because it's lime lemon, not lemon lime. And that's just not the flavor. There's a reason why it's lemon lime. I'm not sure why, but there's a reason. Um, so the thing is that I did my. I don't know how I did it either, but I'm happy that I did. Um, I got all of the goals done um on Roblox, so I don't need to play any more of it today. And so that's why we ended up on Minecraft. But then we also need to do some um, Dreamlight Valley. And then the day after tomorrow is going to be very interesting because we're going to have to do all, uh, well, not all of the games, but we're going to have to do at least 8 games that count for Game Pass. And yeah, that's going to be interesting because you get points for it. I'm trying to save up if I can. I'm trying to save up 30,000 points. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. Is because we're probably going to have a point in um we're probably going to have a point in time when I need to pay for my own Game Pass with my points, and I don't want to have to do that, but I'm probably going to end up doing it anyway. But I want to save up at least 30,000 points so that next time there's a DLC for Dreamlight Valley, I can just say, yeah, let's do this. No! um, the quote bad guy, because he's the popular kid. There's a girl that she's a geeky nerdy girl to them. Um, she's a geeky nerdy girl to them, so they call her Alpo and on the movie. You know what? I never did finish my story. Oh my goodness. So I was telling all of you about a scene in my book, and I never did finish the scene. Hopefully, I'll remember to do it next time I'm on Roblox because I was telling that story and I never finished it. Okay, so the thing is that um, Sean has come home from his date and his tires were flat again, and he blames it on Ashley. Well, she ends up going into Chantel's room with Chantel, and she's crying. She's very upset about the whole thing, and then she decides to change her outfit to black shorts, and she's wearing her bikini top as a upper garment, I guess you could call it, and then she's got a see-through, a black see-through shirt over that. Not like a fishnet design, but the smaller, but still you can see through it. Anyway, I don't know what material it's made out of, so I just really don't know what material it's made out of. But I came up with this outfit, that she's wearing. So anyway, she walks out the front door, even though the stables are near the back door. And it's like it depends on uh, we call the door that leads to the living room, we call that the front door, and the door that goes out the other side of the house, the back door. But if you're looking at it from the street side, it would be the side door. But if you're looking at it from if you're looking at it from I'm at the front door, then it would be the front door and the back door. So yeah, kind of confusing, but it's only confusing to the person who's writing the story, hopefully. Um, anyway, I had to change a few things yesterday too. But anyway, so she goes out the front door and she walks over to one of the lawn chairs where Sean is sitting, and um and she goes, "You know what happened last time we were sitting in those?" Because when Sean and Jesse were 11, so nobody has sat in those lawn chairs since. Um and they're 16 now. So for 5 years, nobody sat in those chairs. Um, but anyway, so they got kidnapped by, you know, their grandfather's mafia guards. But it was the whole family. William, Kat, Sean, Jesse, and Brandon. And I think, not entirely sure, but I think um, Julie would have been there too as a baby. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, she goes and asks him that, and then Sean explains that um, a lady with 3 kids had crashed into his truck, and she got his information because the DMV thought that Sean crashed into her because, that would normally be the thing, a teenager crashing into somebody else's car. But Sean's truck was, perfectly, um, was, you know, parked perfectly in the spot and everything when the lady's kids, maybe they just got done watching a movie. I didn't develop it that much. It wasn't important. But maybe um, maybe they just got done watching a movie, and anyway, the kids were arguing. I was kind of thinking if I did add anything to that they're arguing about what their favorite scene was in the movie. Because it wasn't important at all to this. It still isn't. Um, but I like to put as much detail as possible. And, I really do. I like putting as much detail as possible so then it feels like, it could really happen in real life. But anyway, he goes and explains about that, and he says, I'm sorry that um, I yelled at you. But, before just before that, he's, um, I had him say, Sam has really good taste in shorts because, Sam had to go in and um, get Ashley a pair of shorts and um, a pair of shorts, a thing of underwear, and um, and I called them female products because her that time of the month started unexpectedly. She wasn't. You never know exactly what time of day it's going to start. You might know the day, but unless yours starts, at the same time every single month, you know, you're not going to know what time of day. So anyway, they were at the lake. And they had to go back to town, get get over to the Walmart. Um, I know I don't like Walmart, but I was like challenging myself, can I build this? And the answer was yes. Um, Although it ended up a lot bigger than an actual Walmart, and I'm not sure how. But anyway, I don't call it Walmart in my stories though. I call it the warehouse store. Cause like because they didn't follow their own rules. So you get points for being bad, and they're supposed to fall off after like 3 months or something like that. 3 months, 6 months, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, and they didn't. And it happened like that for several people. And then now they won't even hire me back, even though I should be hireable. They're trying to tell me that I failed their assessment test. I think that's just like Kmart way back when. They, if you worked for them and you messed up, they just blackballed you. You weren't allowed back ever. So, anyway, so anyway, she she starts, um, and she gets up, they're talking and she gets upset and she runs away to the stable, partly because her horse Angel is there. She's supposed to be going for a ride on Angel. Um, a horseback ride. And so it's partly that, but it's also because, she just needs to get away from Sean for a minute. And he goes after her and he goes, "What did I do that's so wrong?" And she yells that, he went out with her, just generically her, because I changed it a little bit when he was going out exclusively with Karen because I couldn't think of any other names. Well, I changed one of them to Samantha. And I came up with another girl, Tracy. And Coral. Um, okay, so I obviously have the name Sam in my books that was the baby of the family. And then, and, oh, and I didn't even realize it, but Bobby Sheridan, so Bobby. And, one of the older characters is Ben. One of the younger characters is going to be Ben too, but that's later in the series. Um, and so we didn't have anybody named Coral. Well, so then I named two people Coral. There's a girl that Sean dates for a little while there, and her name ended up being Coral. And then one of Sam Crenshaw's kids, when he gets married, is Coral as well. So I kind of felt like I wanted to um, celebrate my kitty cat by having her name in the book. Um, and then, anyway, Sean catches up to her, asks her his question. Then she goes, while she is, saying, that he went out with her instead of Ashley, she punches him very hard. I don't recommend that because it might hurt, but or it might hurt your relationship. But anyway, she punches him. He falls back onto the ground, and that's when you find out that she can take care of herself. Just doesn't always work. Um, that'll be seen in Test and Love because there will be a person that wants to date Ashley, and he is definitely like Johnny in Esperanza's party, if not worse. You'll find out if you read the book. Um, so then, normally I think of it as it's the big wide open backyard and horses happen to be there. But then I was thinking there's got to be some kind of stable thing because, like, when it's raining, where do the horses go? They're not just going to let them get rained on. Where do we keep the saddles? Where do we keep the bridles, the reins, all that, saddle blankets? Where do we keep all that stuff? I don't know. So we had to have a building for that. But where I keep putting the building, I think is a little too close to the back door because if you go in the house from the back door, on the left is the infirmary. So the hospital for the pirates. And on the right is the laundry room and then the exercise room. It's the room that later, when it's raining outside, they will they'll sword fight in there when it's practice time. In one of my books, I don't know if it was Lessons in Love or if it's going to be later in Test and Love, but there's a mention of just a mention of it. There's a mention of that there was somebody on the roof, and I think it was during a storm, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, there was somebody on the roof, or yeah, I mean, like it sounded like there was somebody on the roof, and I think William and Sean, or just one of them, says, "Oh yeah, that was us." Yeah, or that might have been us, or something. I don't remember how I wrote it. Like I always say, I wrote it down so I didn't have to remember. Anyway, so I do have, I don't know if I said that during this hour or not, but I've got 6 books on Amazon at the moment, and they are The Rolling Sea Begins Book 1, Pirate's Daughter. The Rolling Sea Begins Book 2, Misfortune. The Rolling Sea Begins Book 3, Hard Times. That introduces, the first 3 books introduce Morgan, then Hayden, and then William. And oddly enough, Hayden meets William while he's kidnapped. And there's a very good reason why he's kidnapped. You have to read the book to find out if you weren't watching me from, if you weren't watching me when I was editing that book, you'll just have to, you'll just have to either go back and watch my videos or read the book. So, but yeah, they're available in hardback, paperback, and ebook. And then there's, later in the series, after those 3, you get introduced as if they were there the whole time to, Sean, Ashley, Chantel, Jesse, Craig, Tristan, Jonah, and Caitlin, and Natalie, and Pepper, Paige, but they get introduced as if they were, in the story the whole time. So unless I say that, this person had long blonde hair or long brown hair, you're not really going to know what they look like. But I kind of like that idea, because then if you're a, for example, if you're a black person, they could be a black person. If you're a Hispanic person, they could be a Hispanic person. If you're Chinese, they could be Chinese, if you're one of those, they had, in one of the James Bond movies, they had a black British person. So, like, if you're that, they could be that and British, but they live in Ireland, so that probably wouldn't work out for them being British, but maybe, because I have a Irish person. I have an Irish person in my stories named Japeth McGee, and he lives in Britain with his wife. But she's got, like maybe she grew up in Australia and then they moved to Britain, and then there's something else in there too, or something like that. So, anyways, she had an interesting accent. Some of my inspiration, maybe not inspiration, but, some of my story pieces came from dreams that I had. And so I heard her talking in that dream, and she had an interesting accent, but I couldn't place it. So I just didn't know what to call it. we'll start up here. Um, yeah, one of these days. This is not an entirely important detail at the moment. For this world, because of the fact that um, you know, the high school, they go to the high school. So, you know, they attend high school. So, you know, that's important. Being able to see over here and see that there's nothing but ocean over there, it's not so important. Like if I made one of them ditch school so they could go surfing or boating or something like that, then it would become more important. What's the next movie? Oh, I know what the next movie was. I didn't realize it was an MGM though. But it makes sense why it has ballroom dancing in it now. It's a movie called High Spirits. And it's got Steve Guttenberg. If you've ever seen National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, it's got the wife from that. Because I don't know what her name is. It's got this one. I think it's a British actor. And he's, I think, totally famous. Might have been in Monty Python movies when he was younger. I have no idea. No, so I said might have been. I have no idea. But anyway, why would you say Monty Python? Ugh, that's so weird. Unless that's his last name. But, you know, that's just so weird. Because I know a python's a snake. Yeah. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there going, that's not just a snake. You know. But, yeah. Okay, in about 2 minutes, we are going to, um, now I was going to say Peter Boyle, but I think that is, Father Time on the, wait, Father Time? Yeah. Father Time on, the Santa Claus movies. He played the mafia, uh, you know, the head mafia guy on a movie called Johnny Dangerously. He was the Frankenstein monster on Young Frankenstein. Um, what else was he on? Anyway, there's a lot of things that he was on. Because I can't think of anything else. I am so sorry. Um, Well, anyway. Oh, it's got Liam Neeson. Um, 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 Qui-Gon Jinn from Phantom Menace, Star Wars. He's been on other things too, but I can't think any of them right now. Oh, I think he was. I think he was Hannibal on the A Team. I didn't. Okay, I liked the A Team movie, but I also didn't like the A Team movie. You can't tame Mr. T like that. I know that wasn't really Mr. T, but you can't tame his character like that. Like all of a sudden, I want to be a nice person. I don't want to be the mean, uh, bad attitude Baracus that I have been since the war. You can't do that to him. That's like giving Han Solo the wussy kill. Okay, my husband swears that there was more to it than that. He swears that there was more to it than that, but I remember hug and I'm gonna throw you overboard. I mean, and I threw you overboard. I know there was, well, yeah, there was more to that scene because, something that I can't say on stream happened. But anyway, you know, that's a wussy kill. That's oh, give me a hug, and then, you're unalived. It's not okay. He should have like died in battle or at least set up a thing, like the carbonite or the carbonite, but like, something went wrong and he died that way. That would have been okay. Like have a short battle scene before that, and then have him in the carbonite, and then and it wouldn't have been anything too horrible for um it would not have been anything too horrible for his character. I mean, for the actor Harrison Ford to endure. It wouldn't have been that bad. But no, they went for the wussy kill. No. Like I said, have like a short battle scene and um have him captured by the bad guys. Maybe he's the lone survivor, but they have him captured by the bad guys, and they're gonna put him in carbonite because like maybe they're gonna, I don't know, sell him to Jabba the Hutt or something like that, or the current Jabba kind of person. I mean, or would that be an alien? Whatever. Um, the Jabba being. Maybe they're gonna sell him to that. I don't know. Um, that part's not important. They could have come up with something, anything besides the wussy kill. Okay, so yeah. Anyway. Oh, okay. So anyway, my books are Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times, Esperanza's Party, The Island, and a separate series called Adopted. And the first book is Coral. As a children's series, I took all the pictures in it, and I don't think some of it transferred over well from my computer to the book, but some of them are just awesome. So anyway, and it's kind of fitting that I I'm sorry, the coloration is a little off, um, because it was not supposed to be a black cover. It was supposed to be a different color, and it like it should have been green. The cover should be green because that was Coral's color. She liked green. Anyway, if I can ever actually get them to send me the email, maybe, because she said that she could send me a copy of my book, and I'm like, okay, cool. Let's set that up. Well, she never sent the email. So if I if I call in again on that one, I will definitely say, yeah, she said that she was going to send it, and then she didn't send it, and then, I never got it. Um, anyway, and if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please follow and chat. And if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. And as soon as we're at the end over here, we will switch over to Dreamlight Valley. Oh! I thought that was the scene where the bus was like floating over the water, but it wasn't. Okay. Yeah, because this is all the same level. So I need to go back over here and yeah, okay. Now, I will see you in the next stream or a video.